She never imagined her Christmas night would break her before it even began. Ariel Marston stepped into the softly glowing, candlelit restaurant wearing her emerald dress, the one she saved for nights that felt full of promise. The snow outside shimmered under street lamps, warm golden lights draped across the windows, and couples laughed over their Christmas Eve dinners. But within minutes, her blind date took one look at her, mumbled a fake-sounding apology, and walked out into the cold night, leaving her standing beside a decorated table for two, humiliated and alone. It felt like the universe had dimmed the lights just for her, reminding her that no matter how hard she tried, love always slipped away. Her breath wavered as she sat down, staring at the untouched water glass trembling beneath her fingers, unaware that the most unexpected twist of fate was already walking toward her. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet magic that appears when we least expect it, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Bright Hearts. Your support truly keeps these stories alive. Ariel kept her eyes low, pretending to scroll her phone so the world wouldn't see her breaking. The restaurant around her felt too warm, too bright, too full of everything she didn't have. Couples leaning close, families clinking glasses, twinkling ornaments reflecting candlelight. She'd told herself that Christmas Eve wouldn't hurt this year, that she'd take a chance, try again, hope again. But now she felt foolish, small, and painfully aware of every empty seat around her. She swallowed hard, trying to gather her courage to stand up and leave, when a tiny voice beside her whispered, "Hi." Ariel blinked and turned. Standing next to her was a little girl, no more than 4, with soft golden curls and a big red bow that wobbled slightly whenever she moved. Her blue eyes sparkled like she held her own Christmas lights inside them. Ariel hadn't even noticed her walk over. Before she could speak, the little girl tilted her head sweetly and asked the words that pierced straight through her loneliness. "Can we join you?" Ariel looked up and saw him that a tall man stood a few steps behind, his expression startled but kind, as if he couldn't quite believe his daughter had approached a stranger. Dressed in a crisp white shirt, sleeves rolled up, his dark hair neatly styled and eyes filled with a mix of apology and warmth. He gave off the quiet glow of someone who'd weathered storms, but learned how to walk gently because of them. He hurried closer, whispering an apology and explaining that his daughter, Everly, had a habit of acting on instinct whenever she sensed someone was sad. Ariel tried to protest, tried to say she was fine, but Everly was looking at her with a hopeful smile that made the entire rejected blind date moment dissolve just a little. So she nodded. And just like that, they sat with her. From the moment Kieran Dane pulled out a chair opposite her, something shifted. The warm glow of the restaurant no longer felt suffocating. The holiday piano music drifting through the air no longer sounded mocking. For the first time that night, Ariel didn't feel invisible. As they talked, she discovered that Kieran was a single father navigating life after losing someone he loved deeply. He didn't share details immediately. Pain that old often stayed tucked between the lines. But Ariel saw it in the softness behind his eyes, in the way he watched his daughter, as though she was the very thing that kept the world steady. Ariel shared pieces of her own sadness. How she'd hoped tonight would finally be her turn at something real. How rejection had worn her down over the years. How Christmas always seemed to highlight everything missing in her life. She spoke carefully, afraid of saying too much, but Kieran listened with a gentleness that felt like being wrapped in a warm blanket. He didn't judge, didn't dismiss, didn't try to fix her. He just saw her. Everly, meanwhile, colored on the kids' menu and proudly showed Ariel each scribble. Stars, snowflakes, a wobbly Christmas tree. Each one making Ariel smile more than she had all week. The little girl's presence was a reminder of pure, uncomplicated light. The waiter brought their meals, and instead of a lonely plate in front of Ariel, there were now shared dishes, warm conversation, and soft laughter mixing with the clinking of silverware. The restaurant's dim golden lights reflected off the silver ornaments hanging above them, casting a magical shimmer across the table. Outside, snow drifted under the glow of street lamps like quiet confetti celebrating a moment Ariel could never have predicted. As the night deepened, their conversations grew deeper too. Kieran revealed that after his partner passed, he'd spent years convincing himself he didn't get to have another chance at love. His life revolved around Everly, and that was enough. or so he thought. But watching him look at Ariel, she realized he wasn't just speaking about the past. He was speaking to her heart. Ariel surprised herself by opening up further. She spoke about fearing she'd always be the woman waiting at a table alone. She admitted she was tired of trying to convince the world she was worth staying for. Her vulnerability spilled quietly, steadily, as if the night had unlocked something in her, and Kieran didn't flinch. Instead, he looked at her with a softness that sent heat rushing to her cheeks under the warm candlelight. "You seem like someone worth staying for," he said softly. Not flirtatious, not dramatic, just honest. Her chest tightened, not in pain this time, but in something that felt suspiciously like hope. Everly insisted they order dessert together because Christmas Eve needs chocolate. When Kieran shared his plate with Ariel, their fingers brushed, and both froze just a moment, long enough for Ariel's heart to skip. Long enough for something inside Kieran's gaze to soften even further. By the time the restaurant announced it was closing early for the holiday, Ariel couldn't believe how quickly the hours had passed. She walked with them to the snowy sidewalk outside. The cold Christmas air wrapped around them, but the night felt warm because of everything that had been shared. Everly reached up and took Ariel's hand. "You should come again," she whispered as if making a Christmas wish. To Ariel's breath caught. Kieran watched, uncertainty flickering in his eyes, as if he wanted to ask her the same thing but wasn't sure he deserved to. Ariel exhaled shakily, then finally allowed herself to be brave in a way she denied for years. She turned to him and said she'd like that very much. His relief was subtle but radiant, glowing like the Christmas lights reflecting in the snow behind him. They exchanged numbers, but it wasn't casual. It wasn't uncertain. It felt like exchanging pieces of hope. In the weeks that followed, they didn't drift apart. Instead, they became part of each other's lives in a way that felt natural, steady, and deeply healing. Late-night conversations, snowy walks through town, cozy evenings watching Everly's favorite movies, moments stitched gently into the empty spaces Ariel had carried for so long. For Kieran, Ariel became the quiet warmth he never thought he'd feel again. For Ariel, Kieran became proof that love doesn't always arrive wrapped in perfect timing. It sometimes walks in holding a little girl's tiny hand, and Everly, bright, magical Everly, became the bridge their hearts didn't know they needed. Their love didn't happen all at once. It grew softly, like Christmas lights warming a dark room. Without forcing, without rushing, without fear, just two hearts slowly learning they deserved happiness, and one little girl who saw it long before they did. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and subscribe to Bright Hearts. Your love and support help us share more beautiful stories like this.